Your face is heating up right now. Not from the sun, not from exercise, just from being seen. You didn't choose it. You couldn't stop it if you tried. And in a few seconds, everyone in the room will know exactly how you feel. That's strange, isn't it? Every other animal on Earth can hide fear, hide embarrassment, hide a lie. A dog doesn't blush after knocking over the trash. A chimpanzee doesn't flush red after losing a fight in front of the troop. You can't hide it. Your skin gives you away every single time. But the real answer for why is far stranger than simple embarrassment. For most of history, scientists treated blushing as a glitch, a leftover reflex, something evolution forgot to delete. Charles Darwin didn't see it that way. In 1872, he called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. He wasn't exaggerating. Darwin spent years collecting reports from missionaries, doctors, and travelers across dozens of cultures, asking the same question again and again. Does this happen everywhere? It did. He studied it across continents, across skin tones, even among people blind from birth who had never once seen another human face blush. And he found something remarkable. Blind people blush too, which means blushing isn't learned by watching others. Nobody teaches you how to do it. It's built in, wired before you ever had the chance to copy anyone. So why would evolution hardwire a response that makes you look weak, exposed, and out of control in front of other people? Here's where the story gets stranger. Some researchers even argue that blushing could only evolve once your ancestors lost most of their body hair and developed thinner, more visible skin. A blush needs a stage to perform on. Thick fur hides everything. Bare skin hides nothing. So the same evolutionary shift that exposed early humans to sunburn and cold may have also, almost accidentally, given your face a whole new channel for honest communication. Nature rarely wastes an opportunity like that. To understand blushing, you have to go back further than embarrassment. You have to go back to trust. Early humans didn't survive alone. A lone human on the open savanna wasn't a hunter. It was food. Survival meant being accepted into a group, staying inside a tight circle of people who would share meat, share shelter, and warn each other when danger was close. Being cast out of that circle wasn't just lonely, it was a death sentence. But groups have a problem baked into them from the start. How do you know who to actually trust? Who's going to steal from the group, or lie to it, or put everyone else at risk to save themselves? Words are cheap. Anyone can say I'm sorry. Anyone can say I didn't mean it. Language lies easily, smoothly, sometimes without the liar even noticing. Bodies don't. This is where psychologist Ray Crozier's research becomes so important. Crozier spent decades studying the social function of blushing, and he found that a blush acts almost like an uncontrollable confession. When you blush after a mistake, you're not just showing embarrassment. You're broadcasting something to everyone watching. You're saying, without a single word, that you know you messed up, that you care what they think of you, that you're not a threat to the group. It's a signal your conscious mind never gets to approve or edit. It just happens, live on your face, for everyone to see. Think about that for a second. A person who breaks a social rule and feels absolutely nothing, no shame, no flicker of discomfort, is far more frightening to a group than someone whose face turns red with visible regret. Which means blushing wasn't a weakness at all. It may have been one of the earliest trust signals our species ever developed, long before spoken language existed to apologize with. Psychologist Dacher Keltner, who has spent years studying embarrassment as a social display, found something almost identical in his research on what scientists call appeasement behavior. Across cultures as different as rural villages and modern cities, people who visibly display embarrassment after a social mistake are consistently rated as more likable, more trustworthy, even more moral than people who show no reaction at all. Strangers trust the person who blushes more than the person who stays perfectly composed. Your body isn't malfunctioning when your face turns red. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do, millisecond by millisecond. It's keeping you inside the group. There's also a moral dimension to this that researchers have only recently started to untangle. Some psychologists studying moral emotions have found that a visible blush after wrongdoing doesn't just signal regret in general. It signals something more specific. It tells the group that you understand exactly which rule you broke. A vague, unfocused apology feels hollow. A blush that appears the instant a specific mistake is pointed out feels precise, almost surgical in its honesty. Onlookers pick up on that precision even if they couldn't explain why, and they extend more forgiveness because of it. But why the face specifically? Why not the hands or the chest or somewhere far easier to hide from other people? Because the face is the one part of you that's almost always visible. A blush hidden under a sleeve or tucked beneath a shirt would be completely useless as a signal. Evolution doesn't waste energy building signals no one can see. The face had to be the canvas because the face is where every social interaction actually happens. It's the one part of your entire body built specifically for other people to read, moment to moment, in real time. And here's the part that should really unsettle you. You can't fake a blush. Not convincingly and not on command. Actors have tried for centuries. It almost never works because blushing isn't controlled by the part of your brain you can consciously reach. It runs through your sympathetic nervous system, the same ancient circuitry responsible for fight or flight. Adrenaline floods your bloodstream. Blood vessels near the surface of your skin widen without permission. Your face heats up before your conscious mind has even finished processing what just happened to embarrass you. In other words, blushing evolved specifically to be unfakeable. And that's the whole point. A trust signal only works if it can't be forged by liars. So the next time your face burns red after tripping in public or forgetting someone's name or getting caught in a small lie, understand what's actually happening underneath your skin. Your nervous system, forged over hundreds of thousands of years, is doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive around the fire. It's proving in real time in front of witnesses that you're still one of the good ones. Now here's the twist almost no one talks about. If blushing is a trust signal built for small, face-to-face tribes of maybe 50 or 100 people, what happens when your tribe suddenly becomes the entire internet? Modern life has quietly broken the system Darwin was describing. You don't just blush in front of 20 people around a fire anymore. You can blush in front of thousands on a video call, during a meeting, in a presentation streamed to strangers who will never see you again and will never need to trust you with anything. Your ancient trust signal is still firing exactly as designed, but the size of your group has grown 1,000 times larger than anything your nervous system was ever built to handle. No wonder public speaking terrifies so many people more than almost anything else. More than heights, more than flying, sometimes more than death itself in survey after survey. Your body still thinks you're standing in front of the only tribe you'll ever have, the one group whose opinion decides whether you eat tonight. Researchers studying social anxiety, including work led by Dacher at the University of Amsterdam, have found that people who blush more intensely in social situations often end up fearing the blush itself more than the original mistake that caused it. That's a strange loop to get stuck inside. You blush because you're afraid of losing social standing. Then you become afraid of the blush itself, because now it might cost you social standing all over again in front of the same people. The very signal designed to protect your place in the group can start to feel like a threat to it, spiraling on itself with nowhere to go. Culture shapes how this plays out, but it never erases it completely. In some East Asian communities where public composure carries extra weight, people report feeling that same rush of heat, but describe working harder to mask it from others. In parts of the world where emotional expression is worn more openly, the blush is barely hidden at all, sometimes even leaned into as a kind of charm. Yet in every one of these cultures, the underlying physical response still shows up. What changes is only how much effort people put into managing it once it starts. The reflex itself never asks for permission first. But strip away the modern anxiety, the group chats, the video calls, the thousands of strangers watching, and the original purpose is still there underneath, quietly working exactly as intended. Every time you feel your face heat up after a mistake, your body is proving something no words ever could prove on their own. It's proving that you're not indifferent to the people around you. It's proving that their opinion of you still genuinely matters. And in a world full of people who can lie fluently, who can apologize without meaning a word of it, who can perform regret with a perfectly calm face, an involuntary red face might be one of the last truly honest signals you have left. Think about how rare that kind of honesty has become. You can filter a photo. You can edit a message a dozen times before sending it. You can rehearse an apology until it sounds perfect. But you cannot rehearse a blush. It shows up uninvited on its own schedule, revealing exactly what you're too polished elsewhere to admit. In a world engineered for curated faces and careful words, your blush might be the last unedited thing about you. So maybe blushing was never the flaw people assumed it to be. Maybe it isn't weakness, and it isn't a design mistake evolution simply forgot to fix. Maybe it's a fingerprint of trust older than language itself, older than fire, older than almost anything else you carry, still running quietly under your skin every single day. Your face is heating up right now. Not from the sun, not from exercise. It's heating up because, underneath everything, some part of you still remembers exactly what it takes to belong.